When is a foul recorded? It's a foul if first contact of the discus on the ground is either on or outside the sector lines. It is a foul if any part of the foot touches the ground outside the circle during the throw. It is also a foul if the athlete walks out the front half of the circle after the throw. It's also a foul if the discus gets thrown into the cage. However, if the discus hits the cage and then the first point of contact then lands in the sector, that is a fair throw and it is allowed to be measured. So how do we measure in discus? Well, the equipment's the same as a lot of our other events. There's a spike and a measuring tape. Don't forget to thread the measuring tape over the spike, making sure that the centimetres is facing upwards. Don't forget the person with the spike will have the zero end, and what they will do, they will mark the ground where the discus first hits the ground. Not where it stops, but where the discus first hits the ground. So don't forget, just like in shot put, the tape has to be pulled through the middle of the circle. And the measurement is taken on the inside rim of the circle. And the measure is 11 meters 56. So if you're the only person at the circle that's taking the measurement, don't forget that little trick I showed you in shot put on how you can use your back leg to pull the tape through the middle of the circle so you can read the measurement. "11 meters 56 centimeters. The whole idea is just to get the discus within the sector lines. That means you can throw it overarm, you can throw it sidearm, you can throw it underarm. You can even throw it like a frisbee, but the best technique to learn is slinging. Now, you can enter the circle from any direction, but you must leave from out the back of the circle. If the discus gets thrown into the cage and doesn't land inside the sector, that is a foul. But if it comes off the cage and the first touch on the ground is inside the sector, that is fine. Don't forget, you have to start from a stationary position. You cannot take a run up from outside the circle. You must start from in the circle from a stationary position. Once it's thrown, you cannot leave the circle until the discus has landed. And don't forget, just like in shot put, if you leave the circle in an uncontrolled manner, it'll also be a foul. It's a foul if first contact of the discus on the ground is either on or outside the sector lines. Don't forget some of our safety considerations. Make sure that the equipment is fine to use, so make sure that the discus edges are nice and smooth and there's no chips out of them. All the officials should be on the outside of the cage, and the person with the spike should be standing outside the sector to begin with. Any of the athletes who are waiting for their throw should be on the other side of the cage and not holding the cage, because if a discus hits the cage, it may hit some fingers. Don't forget to make sure there are no big holes in the cage for the discus to fly through. Also, athletes should not throw or even enter the circle until told to. And once it's thrown, the person who's retrieving the discuses should not throw them back. They should just carry them back and place them on the outside of the cage. So there you have it, some hints and tips for discus. I know there's a lot to remember. One thing I do suggest is have a go at some of these things. Get a measuring tape out, get a spike, maybe get a hoop, get a foxtail, and start slinging it. Start practicing some of the measuring, because the more you do it, the more confident you'll get at it. Don't forget, all these tips can be found on our website with our event fact sheets. Also, check out our YouTube channel where you can find playlists such as our Little Athletics at Home videos, where kids can practice their athletics at home using modified equipment that they can make themselves. We also have videos with coach interviews and how-to videos as well. Well everyone, I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you feel a lot more confident in helping out Little Athletics, but just remember a couple of things. Go out there, give it a go, but more importantly, be your best. And of course, if you have any questions, feel free to send us an email or give us a call at the Little Athletics office.